the very first people I met after Samantha was taken was a pioneer of victims' rights herself, Mrs. Colleen Campbell. She had suffered the murders of her brother, her sister-in-law, and her son. She gave me a lot of sage advice the day I met her just weeks after Samantha was taken. And one of the things she said was that I should be grateful to have Mr. Rackauckas as the DA because he didn't just talk the talk for victims, he walked the walk. In 1982, he took an unpaid leave of absence as an assistant district attorney in Orange County so that he could lead a statewide campaign to remove 3 rogue Supreme Court judges in the state of California who refused to follow the law with respect to the death penalty and truth in sentencing. He won that battle and went on to win many, many others. Most recently, Tony took on the State Department of Mental Health to prevent dangerous sex offenders from being released into our communities without input from the prosecuting agency or the community. He's also leading the charge to prohibit sex offenders from being able to utilize our public parks and recreational facilities. Current law requires only those on probation or parole to avoid those areas, so Tony is making local legislators aware of the gap so that they can pass an ordinance to fix it. I'm doing everything I can as a private citizen to support those efforts, and I hope you'll join us. If issues of public safety matter to you, I hope that you'll consider joining us in writing and calling your city and county representatives to let them know you want to pass the city ordinance. Serving in his 4th term as District Attorney of Orange County, Tony continues to strive for innovative solutions to the challenges of offender management, reentry, and recidivism. But he never wavers from his commitment to victims and their families, first and foremost. It's my honor to introduce Mr. Tony Rackauckas.
Well, I remember those days, of course, when Samantha was missing and when her kidnapper was located and all of those terrible things that happened during that time. And of course, it's just the most awful thing that you can imagine. No parent can imagine having their child kidnapped and treated in such an awful way as that. And Erin was, of course, that was as bad a time as can be imagined for a parent. And I have to tell you, people react differently to things like that. But what Erin did was to create this foundation, the Joyful Child Foundation. And so now, this stands for all of the missing children. So she's not just standing up for kids that are kidnapped, but for kids that are missing, and also to prevent that from happening to other kids. And this partnership with the Joyful Child Foundation and the Department of Education is just a very, very good thing. These warnings, the idea that kids have to know that they might see somebody who's a stranger who might want to do bad things to them, and to teach the kids to react to those things. And I don't think, we don't have to tell the kids what all those terrible things might be, but to let them know that people can represent a danger to them, and to learn how to react when these warnings occur, when people come up to them. I mean, in Samantha's case, it was such a innocent thing. Almost any kid would go up to a car to help somebody with his puppy, his missing puppy, and then she gets too close to the car and gets dragged into the car. What an awful, god-awful thing. I mean, so kids have to know that you need to be aware of these dangers, and that's what Erin is doing. I mean, I just can't tell you how much respect I have for what she's done to be able to come through this and to develop this foundation. Now, understand that when this happens to a person, it's not something that they just get over and get to work on the next step. They never forget. Every day is a painful day, always remembering all of this terrible thing that happened to their children. But she's standing up, she's working, she's symbolizing the fight against this kind of terrible conduct on the part of certain people in our society. Now, I want you to know that this is the very top priority with law enforcement. When something like this happens in the district attorney's office, and I don't just speak for my district attorney's office, but all of them, the U.S. Attorney, the FBI, all of the police department, they'll put other things aside to work on that case, to try to bring that person in, to try to find that child and find out who did this terrible thing and bring that person to justice. No question about it. It's the top thing. So all efforts go to preventing this and to finding the child, if that's possible, and then to bringing the person who did this awful thing to justice. Now, the Department of Education has the things that they're doing, the slogans, and those things are very valuable, and I recommend that everybody look those up and see them and work with their kids and teach their kids these dangers and how to react to these possible dangers. We have in the District Attorney's Office, and I would certainly make available and provide kits that are DNA identification kits. You know, as you know, this science of DNA identification has become very advanced, and we're able to use it in many ways that we were not in the past. And I'm not suggesting that it's something that's going to happen to every kid, but it's really a good idea, I think, to have one of these DNA identification kits just in case something does happen, a child comes up missing, and then we can use that as an identification tool. So give that some thought, because of course we would be very happy to provide those. Like I say, this is a top priority. We're working to work with any law enforcement agency that can use our assistance, and we just are very hopeful. Now I know that violent crime has been on its way down in the United States, and this is one area, by the way, where violent crime has been on the way down. It's been reduced. FBI statistics just came out recently, and these kinds of violent things are reduced, but they're still out there, and they're still dangerous, and it's still at a high enough level to be very concerned about. So I'm very honored to be here to address you and to bring attention to this issue, and hopefully the kids will pay attention and react properly, and we can put a stop to this.
Are you taking questions right now?
I don't think yet. But I will be there.
Thank you. Yeah, I can